this is Anna from CV Cat Realty, and today I'm bringing you one more of our Cool Cat videos talking about cities of Portugal. Today's Cool Cat video is going to be about Castelo Branco. Castelo Branco is a city in the interior region of Portugal, and it is still a fairly attractive location when it comes to pricing. So stay tuned to learn more about Castelo Branco. For those of you who don't know, CV Cat Realty is a relocation and investment agency that helps expats move to Portugal and supports all the way from getting the visas and all documentation to getting settled in our country, choosing the location, getting everything ready, doing renovations, getting your kids to school. All our company is composed by locals and people who have lived in the locations they are responsible for decades, and they are able to guide you through those locations and communities and get you integrated. We help you find your ideal lifestyle in Portugal. So if this sounds attractive, do reach out to us at www.cvcatrealty.com or contact at cvcatrealty.com. All our information is listed transparently in the website. So, about Castelo Branco. Castelo Branco is a very old city of Portugal, being that one of the most well-known things about Castelo Branco is the amazing garden that used to be a royal garden, so o Jardim de Paço Real. And that garden has a pool and has stairs with all the kings of Portugal, and has kind of it's not really a labyrinth, but it's just one of the most beautiful gardens in Portugal for sure. And it's located in the historic center of Castelo Branco. Right next to it there is a museum and a public park. The garden is paid. So, as I was saying, Castelo Branco is a very old city where you can still find a lot of monuments. You also have a castle that has a view from all over the city at the top. When I was in Castelo Branco, I stayed at the hotel that is right next to the castle, and I went walking pretty much everywhere. So it is a fairly small city where it is quite easy to walk around. Excluding getting up to the castle, that's a good exercise. But it's not that bad. You can do it pretty nicely if you are fairly in shape. So Castelo Branco is also known for bordados, so embroideries. So in Castelo Branco there is a traditional embroidery that you will see some images here, and this is actually classified as cultural heritage. And these embroideries involve several different embroidery techniques. They are usually made with silk thread on linen cloth, and they take hours upon hours to make. So a small embroidery like the little heart that I got for myself will cost something like 25 to 40 euros. If it is handmade. Of course, you have the machine-made ones that are, of course, a lot cheaper. But if you go for the original artisans that you can actually go and see them embroidery on the museum, they do not like us take pictures though, so I don't have pictures of that. But this is a very time-consuming process and a very delicate process. So I would say that if you have the capacity, definitely go for the artisan, the actual craftsman piece, because you can definitely tell the difference. Anyway, I got a bit sidetracked here. I actually really enjoy supporting the local craftsmen and the local small businesses. So like I was saying, I got some things from these artisans. But overall, Castelo Branco is a very walkable city with parks. The park is quite big. It's very, very pleasant. And there are some other public green. There's not as many green areas in the rest of the city, but you have quite a few plazas. So it does have a lot of public spaces. And the thing that I was actually very positively surprised is that the city is very full of life. You do have the university there, so you have quite a few students. But overall, I went in a low season, so I went in March, and the city was still full of life, and the cafes were full. There was a lot of people on the esplanadas, so I don't remember how to say that in English, but here in Portugal, when you have tables outside of a restaurant on the streets or on a square and so on, we call that esplanada. So on the esplanadas, they were all full of people. The restaurants were very lively. You eat very well at very affordable costs. So I would say that Castelo Branco is an extremely attractive location if you are willing to be in a less accessible area. So you don't have a huge amount of amenities in Castelo Branco, but you have enough. There is a shopping mall on the surroundings. There is also a big artificial lake park that was built on that industrial area that is also very pleasant. But when it comes to amenities inside the city, it's a fairly simple city. It's not like you will find everything and anything like in the big cities like Lisbon and Porto. And one of the biggest downsides of Castelo Branco is the accesses. So you don't really have a highway to Castelo Branco, you have to go by national road. The roads are decently upkept, but like everything when it comes to national roads, it will depend on your luck on who you are behind. If you have the unfortunate unluckiness of getting behind a truck that's going 50 kilometers per hour, it's going to take you a while to get to Castelo Branco because you don't have an opportunity to go over these people that often. So that can be an issue. I would say that it takes minimum 1 hour and a half, likely 2 hours, to get to any bigger city, and the closest city is Coimbra, and Lisbon is not that far, but not that close. They say it's a 2 hour trip to Lisbon. I would say you would have to be lucky to get it in 2 hours, but it's not a completely unreasonable expectation. So this city is not very touristic either. So like I was saying, most of the interior cities of Portugal do have some lack of infrastructure. There is some new builds happening and the city definitely has been developing, but it's not like it's getting very modern. You do have some new construction, but not a lot of it, and it's mostly on the surroundings. You do have a lot more older properties and very big properties like villas and so on. That's if you're looking like villas or quintas, and you are okay with being a bit further away from the major centers, Castelo Branco can be a very interesting location. The prices are extremely attractive. So you can find property at 100 to 200k very easily in Castelo Branco, and under 100 is not that common, but it's not impossible either in those locations. So overall, one of the biggest attractions of these locations is of course pricing. Pricing is very attractive, and also the cost of life is amazing. I found the food to be extremely well served and tasty and very cheap. So when it comes to quality of life and cost of life, Castelo Branco is an absolutely amazing location to consider. Do keep in mind that this video is being made on early 2023, so we don't know how much that's going to change in the next year or so. I would say that this information is probably accurate for at least a year, but do pay attention to when the videos are made when you are looking at them. So Castelo Branco is not a very touristic city. being an interior city, it's actually not that easy to find hotels. There is only one 4-star hotel in Castelo Branco. Other than that, you have Airbnbs and so on. But not a lot of them. So tourism is not a very big thing in Castelo Branco. You do have some smaller and 3-star hotels and so on. But overall, there aren't a lot of hotels or tourism in Castelo Branco, and a lot of it is from Spain and Portugal. You do see some foreigners, and it's definitely becoming a location of interest due to price for expats, but it's still definitely not a expat hub yet. Let's see how that changes. But yes, overall, Castelo Branco is an extremely pleasant city that is developing very well with very affordable cost of living and prices. It also seems to be very culturally active. I was there during the Easter time, and there was a Easter fair happening, and it was very lively. You can see some photos going around here. We also got to see a concert at the end, candlelight concert. So it was an extremely lovely stay, and I think it is definitely a lovely city to live in, given that you are willing to be in a medium city that is not very close to city centers. So this is, of course, from an European perspective, where a 2-hour trip is a very, very long trip. As most of my clients are American, for them a 2-hour trip is nothing. So it all depends on perspective. But for us Europeans, 2-hour trip is a pain, and it's a very long trip. Also, our gas is really expensive, so do keep that in consideration. Like now we are in June. I'm recording this in June 2023, and the prices of diesel are between 150 and 170 depending on the location, euros per liter. So do keep in mind that gas is rather costly here in Portugal. So a 2-hour trip, when it comes to gas plus highway fares, it can be a rather expensive trip. Although since most of the accesses to Castelo Branco don't have highways, you do not make that expense when it comes to highways. So I think I more or less covered everything. I think Castelo Branco did have a nice balance of life. I didn't notice an overall older population or younger population. I found it quite balanced. There were students, there were older people, there were families, there were children. So I think it's a very balanced and interesting city. And it may be right for you if you are looking to a quieter location and are okay with making longer trips in order to get to airports and bigger cities. So I hope that this is helpful. I hope that you very much enjoyed seeing these videos and images of Castelo Branco. I definitely enjoyed my stay there. And this will be all about Castelo Branco. I would love to hear your feedback. If there's something that you would like to hear, some city that you would like me to cover, or some topic that you feel should be covered, we love to get your feedback. Once again, if you are looking to relocate to Portugal, do contact us at contact@cvcatrealty.com, or check our website at www.cvcatrealty.com. We offer support with both purchases and rentals, and we pretty much aim to be your guide on the inside to get you settled in the best way at first attempt. So this is all for today. We release weekly videos here on the YouTube channel, and also have a lot of information on our blog, on our website, and always give you updates on our newsletter. So also feel free to subscribe to either our social media or our email newsletter. And that will be all for today. I hope to see you all next week. Bye.